Hey, what is going on, everybody? Jesse Delgado, and I have a very special guest. I have Lance Coffman with me. He is a pastor, entrepreneur, a dream encourager, and so much more. And I'm really excited to just pull on his wisdom and pull on some of his life experiences to bring you hopefully some tips and some strategies and some insight and wisdom for running your business or growing in leadership, or even just becoming a powerful dreamer. You know, there's so much power in dreams. That's what's going on in this video. Stay tuned. First question, Lance, is talk us through a little bit of your journey to entrepreneurship. You know, this is you've owned now your second coffee shop. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you've had other businesses throughout your life. Talk us through when did you first know you were an entrepreneur and what that was like?
Well, first of all, thank you, bro. I love this. I'm sorry, man. I love this. This is exciting, man. Love what you're doing. Believe in what you're doing.
Thank you.
And it's an honor to be here, man. I know this is going to touch a lot of lives.
Yes.
You know, and you're going to touch many lives through this and encourage people, man. So, yeah, for me, man, the journey started years ago, man. Actually, when you grow up poor, you get creative. I didn't know it was entrepreneurialism back in the day. So I'm in third or fourth grade, and we didn't have a lot of money. If I went to school with any lunch money, it was like, you know, nickels and dimes, you know. And so every Friday they would have Popsicle Friday. Okay. You know, and the guy would come out the cart, he'd sell popsicles. And I thought, you know, something a little light went off in my head. I thought, listen, well, if I buy the popsicles that cost $0.25, right, and I own most of the popsicles, they'd have to come to me, right? And if I sell them for 75 cents, I'm going to make money. And I didn't realize it was supply and demand. This is my thought process as a young poor kid, you know, just trying to make a few bucks, right? Sure. And so I did. I saved up for a couple months, had enough to buy a couple boxes of popsicles. They ran out quickly and they had to come to me. So I was the popsicle man, you know, in grade school. So it worked, man. And then graduated primary, you know, school, went to junior high. What I did was I started buying candy. I'd go to a little liquor store on the corner right by our school. Okay. And I would buy up all the little, you know, 10-cent little gobstoppers, an hour later, all these, you know, candies, and Boston red beans, those, you know, whatever. And, you know, lunchtime, I'd sell these 10-cent candies for 50 cents to these desperate, you know, sugar crazed, you know, junior hires. And I was turning profit, man. I was, you know, turning these nickels and dimes into dollar bills. You know, but I didn't realize it was entrepreneurialism. You know, I just was a poor kid trying to, you know, make some extra money. So, you know, I go roller skating or something. So it happened, you know, at a young age. And so it kind of stuck with me, you know.
Now, let me ask you, let me just was it the idea of making money, or was it the idea of, you know, of creating, like, what, looking back in that, what stood out to you? What was the most exciting part about that? Yeah,
well, it was, at first it was, you know, the money, because we didn't have any money. So other kids were going to the movies and I wasn't, you know, because we didn't have any money. But then I enjoyed the process. Then I enjoyed the art of it. And again, I didn't realize what it was. I didn't realize, hey, this is an entrepreneurial thing. This is actually something that can work the rest of my life. And I didn't have anybody, and this is key, pointing that out. There was nobody in my life going, hey, you're an entrepreneur. You're a young businessman. You've got a great business mind. You know, no one spoke that to me. So it went unidentified. So it took a minute after, you know, when I became an adult, you know, adulthood, it was kind of a lapse in my, you know, entrepreneurialism, because no one identified it. I just thought it was survival. I thought, hey man, I made a few bucks, you know. And then so, but rewinding, I can tell you where the light went on was I was, I think 6 years old, and our family, we didn't do anything. We didn't go out. We didn't, you know, we just didn't do it. My dad went to work, would come home, and that was the extent. We're playing in the front yard, and I remember my dad coming home from work one day, and he says, kids, get in the car. First of all, like, we're like, what's wrong? Because we just didn't jump in the car. We didn't go anywhere. And so he's like, get in the car, and I want to take you somewhere. I want to show you something. So my sister and I and my mom, we jump in the car, and I remember our green Plymouth, man. We're driving down. It was on Florin Road. There was this old barbecue joint. I remember it was red. It had red and white checkers, and it went out of business. And we pull up. I'm like, hey, what are we doing here? They're out of business. There ain't no food here. You know, and first of all, our family don't go out to eat. So, I mean, I'm just like very suspicious. And we get out of the car. My dad goes, just look around. I'll never forget it. And he says, I'm going to buy this, and we're going to own a restaurant.
Wow.
And I didn't know we can do that.
Come on.
I thought that was just for special people that had a lot of money because I knew we didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't know that that was even possible. And then so something lit up at that point. Again, I didn't know what it was. Something stirred in me, man. So I'm like, that's real now. I can do that, you know. So through a series of events, it didn't happen. I don't remember why, but from that point on, there was something in me, and it began to manifest when I was in, you know, third grade, fourth grade, selling the popsicles and then the candy. Yeah. So yeah, there was a history there. Then in high school, you know, I wasn't selling. You know, popsicles and candy anymore. Kind of graduated to pharmaceuticals. You know?
Okay. Oh, okay.
And again, I didn't partake.
Sure.
But man, I took my business model, supply and demand.
Yeah.
And a whole nother story, you know, another day kind of thing. But made a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, because it was just business principles that worked.
Yeah.
Didn't realize it's this entrepreneurial thing. And you know that season's under the blood.
Yeah,
of course,
but you know, but I think it's important to mention, right? Just on the sake of transparency. Yeah, we're not proud of that, but it came from a particular. You know, I myself did the same thing.
Right.
And it really just was birthed out of this need, right? This need to create an income, finances to be able to do what you wanted to do.
Absolutely.
And I think that if we're not careful, you know, there's definitely a predator. There's an enemy that will want to take what it is that God placed in us and pervert it and use it for destruction, right?
No, absolutely, man. Yeah. And especially when you don't have anybody, a mentor or a parent, speaking into your life, going, that's what this is.
Right.
That's why I think it's so crucial now when we see young kids who carry that. We say, listen, man, that's a gift. That's a gift. You know, we teach everybody that you have to, you know, they live the script. The script is this, you know what, you go to kindergarten, you know, you get up every day, go to school, and you pack your lunch, and then you know, you go every day, you know, then you get into junior high, then you get into high school, then you get good grades, you take the SAT, so you can get into a good college, so you can get a good job. You almost can finish a sentence.
Sure.
You get a good job, so you can buy a big house,
and
then you meet your wife, and then you have a baby, and then you put money into retirement. You know, it's just like we're like, there's no room for entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
No one's saying that, hey, there's another script.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, if you don't fit the template, then there's no hope. So you got a lot of unidentified, struggling, frustrated, even depressed entrepreneurs because nobody said, hey, you're carrying something special. Let me pull that out.
Sure.
And that's what happened with me. It wasn't pulled out. It even, so, you know, I remember we were first married, and for our honeymoon, someone bought us a dehydrator and said, hey, you know, you like to make jerky? I'm like, yeah. So I remember making jerky. My mind was automatic, like, yeah, this is good jerky, because everyone told me that's good jerky. I'll never forget, right off of Florin Road, there was a little Chinese restaurant in a liquor store called Ken's, and it's still there today. So I went into Ken, the owner, when he still owned it. I said, hey, Ken, taste this. He's like, that's pretty good. Can I sell it in your store? It just was natural. You know? And so it was just how my mind worked, you know, but never followed up on it because I never really understood what it was or the power behind it. And then, you know, the years, so I kind of went on an entrepreneurial hiatus for a while. Didn't really pursue anything, just got locked in routine. And then our family, years ago, we bought a big production company, California Pro Sound. And so we did all the sound from, you know, the biggest venues to the smallest. You know, from a 20-person event to, we can do an Arco, well, now it's not Arco, but, you know, size event, arena event. You know, and I'll never forget, so we launched that, and the first call that we got was from Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh, wow.
I didn't expect that, was not anticipating that, but they were doing a tour, and they called. So then I realized how big this can become, but more importantly, how as a Christian, I can take what I carry and touch people in the darkest places.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'm on the phone with his tour manager.
Yeah,
and I'm going, oh my gosh, this is Ozzy, the King of Darkness is his nickname, and I've got the King of Light in me, and I'm going to go and I'm going to build it, you know. And so I saw the power of a marketplace ministry, entrepreneurialism, how it can touch people.
That's such a good point. You know, I feel like that alone right there is going to just awaken a lot of people. I feel like there's a lot of people that don't understand that balance, that want to know more. But something you said, let me ask you about this is, you know, going back to having that entrepreneurial spirit and not quite knowing what it was, right? But you know you have it in you. You didn't have a name to it yet. You were just out there doing you. What would you say, you know, because now entrepreneurship is a little bit more glorified. It's in the limelight a lot more. We see a lot more personal branding and stuff going on. What would you say to the person who feels like they have that entrepreneur spirit, but they just don't know what to start with or where to go. They don't know what exactly to do with it. What would your advice be?
I would get off Instagram. I'd get off Facebook and go find a mentor. I'd find somebody that you know that has integrity and character, and that you can trust, and they have what you want.
That's good.
And then go tap into them, buy them lunch, fly out and see them on your own dime, but get around them and ask them, you know, whatever you need to ask them. But I think, you know, like the social media has made this entrepreneurialism thing sexy. You know, you got the boat, the watch, all the attraction stuff, you know, and it's not even about that. You know, that stuff may come down the road if that's what you want, but it's not even about that. So I would say find somebody who's in a place that you want to be in, and not just materialistically. Are they at the top of the mountain in business? Are they at the top of the mountain? Do they still have their family? Do their kids still love and respect and honor them? And do they have a good name? That's stuff people don't talk about, because I don't want to get to the top of the mountain by myself. I want my family there. I want to have a good reputation. I want to be known as a man of integrity that helped other people up as well. You know, so those are some big things.
And that's interesting you say that, because there's tons of stats of people who are incredibly wealthy, rich, have money out of their eyeballs, but yet they're miserable, they're lonely, their families are broken apart, and there's a lot of damage. And we don't really, in our culture, we don't really see that as much. But it's important that, you know, that we talk about that. We tell people, you know, hey, listen, yes, you know, grow and go after your dreams, but don't put your family on the altar to do it.
No,
you know?
And it happens all the time, man. And you know, I made a decision early on that I won't let that happen. So anytime you go public with a core value and you make a statement like, I will not let that happen, I will not lose my family, I will not lose my wife, in ministry or business, you know, that statement will be tested. You're going to be tested.
Yeah, I think that's important. You know, I feel like a lot of people, just human nature, right? We're trying to avoid pain, loss aversion, right? Anything that causes us a price, we're not willing to pay it. But especially when you start talking about dreams, entrepreneurship, which I feel like they're cousins, right? Like being a dreamer is being an entrepreneur. It's very closely related. And on that note, that's a great transition, because I wanted to ask you about a time where that you could recall, maybe where you felt incredibly lonely, misunderstood, you and even questioned maybe yourself, like, man, am I doing the right thing? Like, can you tell me? I'm sure you've had a number of them.
Once a week.
Yeah, and that's the reality, I think, of being a dreamer and an entrepreneur. Is it's a regular occurrence, and you need to know how to navigate those feelings and those emotions. Can you tell me a story about that, maybe?
Yeah, well, yeah, man. I mean, it's just part of it. I mean, and then that's how you steward that will separate you from the rest of the pack. Most people bail out on that lifestyle because it is lonely. It is hard. You are misunderstood. People don't get you. See, it switched for me when I was expecting people to get me. I expected them to get what I was doing. I expected them
because it's so clear, right?
I mean, here I see it, man. And then I really felt the Lord speak to my heart one day. They're not supposed to get it yet. It's between you and me.
That's good.
And so at that point, I really shifted my focus on, okay, what is this dream thing? What is this all about? And I started going back in scriptures, and, you know, everything started with a dream, you know, and so the dream, what's the dream? The dream is the language of heaven. When the Father wants to shift something on earth, he gives his sons and daughters dreams.
That's good.
He puts something in them. It may not be like they're sleeping at night and they get a dream, but he puts something in them. He impregnates them with something from heaven, from him, for them to manifest on earth.
That's good.
You know, so when he needs to shift something, he puts something in them, you know. And so dreamers are lonely because they see the future before anyone else. They see what could be and should be before anyone else. And they try to describe what they're seeing that hasn't happened yet, and people, all they can see is reality. Reality is one of the great thieves of dreams. Reality has talked more dreamers off the edge of their dream than anything else, because the Father will give you a dream, something inside of you. You need big stuff like buy that building. Reality whispers in your ear, "Are you crazy?" reality agrees with reality. Reality is what you have in the moment when the Father speaks.
Wow.
So we have a choice to make. Trust our human reality,
Sure.
the natural realm, or trust the Father, the dream giver's reality, the supernatural realm.
Yeah.
So we're not obeying out of what we see, we're obeying out of who we know. And that's the key for a kingdom entrepreneur. So he'll give us something, and all we have to do is say yes and take the step.
Yeah.
Most people, they approach it like this. I won't go unless I know. And the Father's saying, that's fine, but you're not going to know unless you go.
Wow.
And there's so much revelation
Yeah.
in the stepping out.
Yeah.
But it's a blind first step.
Yeah. Come on.
But it's a step that it's the step less taken because it's a scary step because you don't know often what you're stepping into.
Sure.
You're leaving a job that you had comfort, security, and you're leaving that and you're not even sure if the idea is going to work. It's that first step.
Yeah. Yeah.
But those that take that first step, those are the ones that see the Father in ways that most people never will because it's scary.
Yeah.
Man. So for me, it's how I steward that. I know it's part of it. Yeah. In fact, it's to the point now, if I don't have that, I'm worried.
Wow. So like if you're not feeling some sort of misunderstood.
I'm not dreaming big enough.
That's good.
Yeah. And I have to, the key is this, Jesse, is that, you have to find your tribe. You have to be. The dream is the most powerful. A dreamer needs the right family. Like I need people to just get me, who know me, that love me, not what I do, not how I do it. They just know me. And so I can come and say, hey, man, I was driving down the street and I saw this 3-story building that I think would be great for a teen center, and we can reach teens, and everybody in my reality knows I don't got a dime to my name. But they're not going to say, you're crazy. They're going to say, okay.
Yeah.
Because they get me. So it's so important to run with family.
Yeah.
Get you, that will cover you.
Yeah.
To make it safe to dream. Like Joseph, I think we interpret that wrong. We tell people, don't talk about your dream. Well, who did he tell his dream to?
Yeah.
His family.
Yeah.
So I think he went about it the wrong way, but nonetheless, when you're in true family, that's the safest place to release your dream. You should be able to say, this is what I see God doing. And they protect it, and then they help you, and then they partner with you.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
That's very
key,
powerful.
Yeah.
Because even looking in my own life, I can see that there's just some people I know that I can just let loose.
Yeah.
And there's some people that I just kind of keep a rein on it. And I talk only certain things, and I don't, because you'll get that blank stare, wide-eyed, like, what are you thinking? You know what I mean?
Call the doctor.
And then there's other people that are like, man, I believe you can do it. And you know what? Let's strategize, or let's put an action plan together to go forward. Like, how can we make that happen? Or, a lot of times too is if you're not talking about your dreams, you won't necessarily know what dreams other people have, because sometimes it'll ignite and you know what? Lord's been speaking to me about that, and I wanted to do this, and it just starts coming together. Let me ask you this, because in my own life, I've seen, taking action, right? Not being afraid of failure, not being afraid of rejection, taking action. I've seen hasn't always been the thing, right? We talked a little bit about this off camera, but it's many times led to things, right? And so I always tell people and encourage people, man, just get started, right? Just, you got this idea, this dream, this passion, you want to start writing, you don't know what to write about, just start writing about whatever, right? And it'll start to unfold. It'll start to be more clear later on. What would you say to the person who's kind of maybe stuck in their head and they just need some encouragement or direction on getting started?
Well, I think that, I heard, a film producer say this. He said, Darren Wilson, we had him at an event, and he said, someone asked him about writing, and he said, are you writing every day? And no. He said, you're not a writer. He said, writers write. So that's exactly what you just said, and it was like, is it that simple? Yeah. It's nothing happens without that first step. But we're in a world that demands answers. We're in a world that demands you have to have all your ducks in a row. And if we wait for that, we'll rarely see our dreams come true or step into it, because you know what? The ducks never usually end up in a row. It's never the right time. It's never the right season. So I believe, and I teach this all the time and share with people, that when he gives you the word, that's the time. That's the season. It's and it may be a month from that point on, but you act. The point is you have to act, and there's so much defining that happens once you step in. You know, when we planted a church years ago, you know, the district we were part of, the movement we were part of, they had all these, you know, questions that you had to answer, like, who's your demographic? What's the need? Da, da, da. I said, you know, I know what paper says, but I'm going to leave it blank. I know, because I really won't know the need until I'm actually in it. And for me, that was something for then, but it's transferred to every area of my life. Like, I'm not going to be quick to define something until I'm actually in it, because I don't want to lock something in that's not supposed to be locked in. It may be something totally different. You know, so I think that first step is huge, man. It's a defining thing, and you don't know how. But see, here's the thing. God's looking for someone he can trust with that instruction. You know, and you'll step out, and then that's when he steps in. There's so much unknown until, you know, I think most of what we need is on the other side of that first step.
That's good. You know, just kind of what you were saying, I'm of the belief that, you know, one of the major components in our purpose and destiny in life, and the reason why we were created, is to solve problems, right? Inside of us lies answers. Inside of us, and I see, just even in my own life and other people that, you know, I work with, a common mistake is, you know, let me make this product and then go try to find people, instead of let me figure out what problems people are having and solve them. Right? And what kind of doors that opens up when you become a solution generator versus just, hey, this is what I do, check it out. You know what I mean? So that's really,
that's huge, man. That's it. The most valuable person in the room is the one that has the answers. That is the solution. That's good. That's the person that's going to get the king's attention, you know, or the president or the CEO or whoever. That's the one they're going to go to. My wife's a perfect example. Before she started her nonprofit, and she was killing it. I mean, doing great with her job, climbing the ladder, doing phenomenal. And she worked for correction. And I mean, she wasn't like, she shouldn't have access to the warden. But the warden knew she had answers. So she would bypass, you know, 4 or 5 levels to come down to where my wife was at.
Very good.
You know, and ask her, what do you think we should do? She had answers. You know, she made herself valuable. And because of that, you know, she was able to make herself valuable and have access to the warden. It was making a bigger difference in corrections over that prison than the people that were right next to the warden. You know, so that's what happens.
You know, that's another thing I wanted to ask you about. Your wife as well is, I mean, just if not even more of a dreamer than you. She is actively involved in helping people with sex trafficking. She's a business owner, entrepreneur as well. She preaches the gospel. I mean, she does so many different things. Talk a little bit about, you know, just kind of the dynamic between being 2 dreamers in a marriage, having, you know, some combined dreams, maybe some separate dreams, and just how you guys work that. What does that look like behind the Coffman doors, like when it comes to being entrepreneurial and dreamers?
I mean, it's, you know, it's real simple. I mean, for us, because it's servanthood. It's like, you know, our approach is simply this: how can I serve your dream, babe? And I didn't just call you babe.
Thank you.
To clarify that.
I'm a married man.
But, you know, and vice versa.
And
so our position every day is, how can we serve each other's, you know, individual dreams?
That's good.
You know, on that level, you know, with her Hope Initiative, that's her dream. She left her job, good paying job, to chase that dream with no guarantee of anything. And, you know, so my approach was simply this: how can I serve you, babe? How can I serve this new work? How can I be a part? What can I do? You know, and then, you know, things that I'm doing that, you know, how can I serve? So we make each other better, you know, in that, and just through servanthood. And then we have dreams that we have together. You know, marriage dreams, you know. And then we have family dreams. Our family regularly, we have dream sessions. We'll go find a place and, you know, and just dream. Like, what's Papa speaking to the Coffmans, man? What's next for us, man? What's the Lord have for us?
That's
you know,
incredible.
what do we want to do? And it's so fun, because so much of where we're at now came out of a dream session out of Starbucks. Just sitting around one night, just, hey, what's God doing? And then hearing our kids speak, because they hear God too. You know, there's no junior Holy Spirit. They're like, I feel this and I feel that, you know. And it's just fun to be able to, like, look back and see everything we're doing now came out of just different dream sessions. You know, so
powerful. That's dreams. You know, Dreams is one of the things that I think about when I think about you.
Yeah.
You know, when I think of Lance Coffman, I'm thinking like, this is the guy who encourages dreams.
Yeah.
You know, because there's not a lot of people that are really speaking on it, you know, that are
Right.
kind of being a forefront, you know,
Right.
a face to it, right?
Right.
But it's so powerful. Now, you have a Dream Summit coming up,
Yeah.
right? Which is, this is the third year?
Yeah,
Is
the
it?
third, yeah.
year. And you've had some incredibly powerful people there. And I know when me and my wife attended, we met Tommy Barnett,
Yeah.
powerful speaker there. I mean, just not only did we get incredible value, but we got a chance to talk with him. He autographed our book. There was so many other people, great people there as well. Just for everybody out there, just talk a little bit about what is the Dream Summit, what's the vision behind it, and kind of how they can, you know, plug in.
Yeah. One Sunday morning, I asked our church, I said, how many of you are entrepreneurs or business owners? And literally, Jesse, half of my church raised their hand. And that's
Wow.
not a preacher exaggeration, man.
Yeah.
Like half of our church raised their hand. I'm like, dear God, man, we have to do something about that. You know, we have to steward that. Why would God bring so many, you know, entrepreneurs and business owners under one roof? And as a pastor, it would break my heart hearing people say, man, I'm just not called, or they're struggling trying to find their calling, you know. And I'm like, you are called and you are doing it, but they didn't know their place in the market was their marketplace ministry, or the job or the business they own, or whatever, that was their ministry.
Wow.
So we started empowering them and telling them, no, this is your high call. That's your pulpit, you know, and then put a purpose, connected their marketplace, you know, you give it purpose, and then the light went on and they were empowered and they felt good. And so out of that, we thought, man, there's so many people that feel that way. Going back to what you were talking about, dreamers feeling alone, you know, and misunderstood. Well, our heart was, let's create a dream summit, because we think and believe that as sons and daughters of the King, the great dream giver, we should have crazy, radical, wild dreams that match the size of our God.
Come on.
He's a big God, and it should be natural to have big dreams, man. Like that's how we think, you know. And so we wanted to create a place where people can come in, and even if they're dreamers, take the dream to the next level. And so when you have an atmosphere of dreamers coming together, you know, I mean, he's just releasing things. I can't tell you how many people have received a fresh dream, or an old dream was awakened in one of our summits, and now they're doing it. So we wanted to create a place. It's not a conference, although maybe, I mean, it's structured like one maybe, but it's a gathering of dreamers. So they're getting around other dreamers. They're not alone, and that's a big deal for us.
Yeah, big deal.
They feel like, hey, there's other people out there, creating a family culture there. So throughout the year, they're talking about it. Hey, how's that coming along? How's that opportunity? How's that new business? How can I help you? And so it's been awesome to see that happen. So the idea is, we bring them in. Friday night, we always kick it off with our heart there is like, let's take our dream to the next level. Then Saturday, it's let's put, the nuts and bolts, some practical stuff. Let's build relationships. You know, and that's kind of the heart.
So talk about a little bit who some of the people you got that are going to be there this year.
Tommy Barnett's coming back. You know, you really can't get a bigger dreamer, than Tommy Barnett.
For those of people that don't know who Tommy Barnett,
he's the founder of the LA Dream Center. Pastored one of the largest churches in the nation for years. Now it's called the Dream City Church in Arizona. It used to be Phoenix First, but his idea was see a need and meet it. And long story short, him and his son saw an empty hospital that sat empty, and they're in LA, right in the heartbeat of LA, downtown LA. And the Lord said, buy it. Wow. And they didn't have any money. But they just thought, wouldn't it be awesome to create a hospital for broke people, hurt people to come in and get healed and made whole, and then send them back out. And so they raised money for that and bought that, and that's a big dream. The reality was they didn't have enough money. So when the dream is from God and it's real, is when you start taking crazy radical action. And this is what separates most people, most dreamers, is they're not willing to pay the price to see the dream come to pass.
That's good.
They want a GoFundMe to fund it. Now, I'm not against GoFundMe,
sure, right.
but if you're not going to fund it, then don't ask someone else to fund it.
Oh, wow.
I think as an entrepreneur, you gotta fund it yourself.
Put some skin in the game, right?
Yeah, and then ask, because here's what happens. If you don't have skin in the game, the first trial that comes your way, you're going to boogie.
You're out.
Yeah. And so if you got skin in the game, you're not leaving.
Yeah.
You're in it, man.
Yeah.
And so, so he literally walked as a 60-something-year-old man, almost 70, from Phoenix to LA to raise the money.
Wow.
Raised over $1 million. He's, to this day, years later, he has nerve damage in his feet.
Wow.
Walks with a limp because he walked, I don't know how many miles that was, but I mean, in the desert, through the desert.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jeez.
but he raised the money. So if we have a dream that we know is from God, then what are we willing to do to make it come to pass?
That's good.
So when God gives a dream, I know I'm going off a
Yeah,
little bit,
that's
but
fine.
we'll bring it back, I promise. When we have a dream, the first question, we know it's from God, we ask is, what's my part? What's my part in this? And then
That's
we
good.
do that. So with that said, he does all that, and he buys the hospital, and when he comes and he spoke at our first event, and he's coming back to our next one, coming up in March. But I asked him, I said, hey, Pastor Tommy, I said, do you have any regrets? And he, without hesitation, Jesse, said, yeah, which I didn't expect, because here's a man, he buys hospitals, and there's so much more that he's done, right?
Yeah.
Reached thousands of people over the years. And I'm like, well, then what is it? He said, I didn't dream bigger.
Wow.
I'm like, oh my gosh, man.
Wow.
I'm like, I'm not worthy.
Yeah.
Like the whole idea is like, don't just dream recklessly, but God, what do you want me to do?
Wow.
I wonder how many, orphanages, can be started if we just begin to dream with God. We can recreate the foster
That's good.
system and all that. I mean, I wonder, what can happen if we just begin to dream with God and really act it out on what we, felt Him speaking. I mean, that's the power of the dream, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So.
Wow. Okay. So who are some other people that
We got Kelly Cardenas. He's a spokesperson for Paul Mitchell Salons, owns 5 salons, doing an incredible work as a man of God in a very dark industry.
Yeah.
Letting his light shine, and he's a powerful man. And again, with him, I mean, he's a man that's at the top of his mountain, but he has such a high value for family. And I told him, man, I have to have you come to the summit.
Yeah.
And he's coming. We're excited about that. Eric Knopf is one of the greatest innovator thinkers, I think, under the radar guys. Not many people know his name.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's just a brilliant thinker. I'll be speaking. In that, then we have Dream Talks. We were super creative, and we bit TED Talks.
Yeah.
And we have Dream Talks, which is, I think, many people's favorite. And we have, all kinds of people. I think we have like 10 talks this year.
Awesome.
And they get 20 minutes to just kind of share their 1 or 2 nuggets.
Okay.
Yeah,
and so when is it? How much is it?
March 22nd through the 23rd. So it's a Friday night, Saturday, all day. It's $39.99, and they can register at thedreamsummit.org.
Come on,
Yeah,
$39.99 to invest.
Crazy.
I mean, we're turning this into an infomercial, but seriously, I mean, $39.99. You got a whole day and a half a day, right? Friday.
Yeah.
And you're getting some incredible wisdom from some people. You talked about mentorship. You talked about the importance of having people just give it straight to you.
Right.
And man, this incredible value. I know when I went there, I got, me and my wife both were able. And you know what? On that note too, that's why I asked you a little bit about the marriage, is because, and you kind of alluded to it, your whole family has, these dreaming sessions, right? Like, I think it's really important to have these, to have these in your family, right? Within your marriage. And there's been times where me and my wife have just said, hey, babe, like, what are you dreaming? What are your dreams, and how can we serve, like you said, one another in their dreams? And, if you're gonna, which you should, all of us should be dreaming. It's a family event. It's a family affair. It's not, God gave you dreams, but other people are connected to those as well. So let me ask you this, and just closing on this, kind of knowing what you know now and where you are now, and just the ups and downs, the trials and stuff. If you were to start your entrepreneurial journey over again, with the information experiences that you have now, what would you do differently, and why?
Oh, you saved a deep one for last, man.
Yeah, man. Let's bring it on.
All right. What a way to land the plane, man. What would I do differently? I would have started younger. I would have stewarded it better. I think that's a big deal. I think I would have took action sooner. One of the greatest gifts I'm able to give my kids is a prosperous mindset. I didn't get that until later on in life.
It's good, yeah.
I think I again would have started much earlier. And I knew something was there, and I had people that that were scared to chase their dreams affect me and stop me and hinder me from chasing my dreams.
Wow.
You know, I was, oh, there's the dreamer. He's just the dreamer. He's daydreaming again. You know, and I heard all the time, you know, that's just Lance. He's just, you know, I didn't embrace that. I ran from that because I thought something was wrong with that.
Wow.
You know, and I'm like, no, but that, so now years later, that's who I'm coming back to. That's who I am. That's how God created me, you know, and so, you know, and it's a gift from him. Sometimes it feels like a curse, but it's a gift, you know. So I think I would have started earlier, man. I think I would have listened to the right people and not listen, you know, allowed the wrong voices to direct me, you know, and stop me from, you know, stepping into some stuff.
Yeah. Powerful stuff, man. That's incredible. Well, I want to thank you, man, so much for taking the time.
Of course, bro.
We're in the basement right now, the underground, conducting an interview of Inspire Coffee, which is in Lodi. If you're ever in the Lodi area, you want to come through and you want to get some delicious coffee. Not just coffee, but you're going to be inspired. Your dreams are going to be fueled by this coffee, right?
True story.
And you got, there's an interesting, let me just throw this out there, because you have an interesting coffee up there that your son Nick was telling me is from Romania.
Yeah, man.
What's the deal with that? So some tonic water or something, right?
It's the snooze. Yeah. So 4 or 5 months ago, we were doing some work in Romania and found a coffee shop called the Snooze. So we went in there and asked them, what's your go-to drink? And without hesitation, they said, oh, it's I can't even pronounce it, but it was tonic water, shot of espresso over ice. And I'm like, man, they are playing a joke on this American, man. And they pushed it on me. So I got one. I thought, oh, that's all right. Got another one. Not sure. Got a third one. I think by the fourth one, I went, this is all right. This is good. So for fun, you know, we put it on our menu.
Very cool.
Because we like to tell a little story behind all our drinks.
Very cool stuff, man. So for people out there, where can they connect with Lance Coffman? Where, you know, Twitter, Facebook?
Facebook, Instagram.
Okay, what's your handles or?
Lance Coffman.
Just Lance Coffman, that's
Coffman. It. Instagram's LA Coffman.
Okay. The one and only. And make sure you follow Inspire Coffee too. They're doing some dope stuff in Lodi here. And I see you guys are up. I voted, by the way. I see you guys are up for, was it the best of
Lodi in San Joaquin Valley. So nominated at 4 months old was pretty big deal, man. So we're going against Dutch pros and some of the big dogs. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Thanks again, Lance. I appreciate it, brother.